Another day, another ride. Hello dear viewer. Although Camp Mostar is still under construction, there are already good facilities. Especially the seating area on the covered terrace is a nice place to spend time. The fact that students from the nearby school spend their breaks here creates a pleasant hustle and bustle. The owner and his family are very friendly and do everything they can to make you feel welcome. In addition to the campsite, they also have a catering company, so you can get excellent meals at the campsite. They also have well-stocked refrigerators with soft drinks and beer and, as you can read in reviews on Google, excellent coffee. And all at very reasonable prices. After the last ride I was tired, really tired. The next day I did almost nothing, except making the video. That was also because a Dutch couple arrived at the campsite around noon. In the afternoon we talked about our travel experiences and in the evening we ate together and drank coffee. Yesterday I went to Mostar to see the city. You can see footage of my visit at the end of this video. For today I've planned a route to Gyeonggi, where I have adjusted the settings of Curvature to be able to ride on more easily accessible roads. The route is over 210 kilometers and will mean about 4 hours in the saddle. I left late this morning, around 11:15. That was because I wanted to say goodbye to the owner of the campsite personally, but he was delivering meals. The first part of the journey was on nice wide roads where I could drive nicely. However, it seems that in countries in the Balkan the speed limit signs are put up for nothing. In Bosnia too, people drive much faster than the maximum speed allowed. As I got into the mountains, the roads became narrower, but were still passable. Some roads had recently been resurfaced. Because of the gravel on the side of the road, I was afraid that after every blind bend a new kart track would start, but that fear turned out to be unfounded. After the narrow mountain roads, it was lovely to whiz over the wide roads again, with some beautiful views, such as over Lake Blingine. However, just after that lake I had to turn left and ended up on a wide gravel road. Follow this road for 21 kilometers was not exactly what I wanted to hear, and although the gravel was limited to only about 16 kilometers in length, it was quite strenuous on some parts to avoid all the holes in the road. But after this, again a whole stretch of beautiful wide roads with excellent smooth asphalt. And when you see on your phone estimated time of arrival in 35 minutes, then you assume that you will not encounter any more problems. But how wrong can you be? Suddenly the road turns into a kart track again, and you really think, oh no, not again. But there's no alternative. Some parts were still reasonably passable, but there were also parts with a lot of stones and boulders, where the road also descended quite steeply and you can hardly move forward. In the end you have to plow over that path for more than 10 kilometers, and when you think you have had it, because you get asphalt, you're disappointed, because the asphalt soon ends again. In the end, instead of after 35 minutes, you only arrive at your destination after almost 1.5 hours, and you're completely fed up with it.